My lips are burnt.
But it wasn't my fault. Not this time.
Yes, for anyone that's not interested enough to listen to our other shows, I drank some tea, and my wife left the top. It's one of those Yeti tea cups, so you can put the lid on it. So it was very hot, and I burned my lips to the inside of my mouth. So now I'm drinking a colder beverage because I have burnt lips.
Welcome to Watching a Plane, episode 197.
Burnt Lips. I'm your host, Burnt Lips, and this is
Fire
mushroom.
crotch.
Fire crotch? How about we call you the pink flamingo?
Mr. Spark.
Mr. Spark.
I love Mountain Dew Spark. Or anything else that they send
how
me.
about Pinky the Wonder Shill?
I will wear any of your sweaters if you send them in my size.
Pinky the Wonder Shill.
Supposedly I'm a large now.
Wow.
Probably large. Today on the show, The Mandalorian. Episode
Holy shit, we've got the Mandalorian as a guest.
307.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the Mandalorian.
Crickets.
He's quiet.
This
He's
is
not a
the
talker.
penultimate episode of the season.
Yeah.
You're so into it.
I will say, it was funny. I was having this conversation with the girls when I was watching it. I made the mistake of my son came home sick from school. And I'm like, Dexter, you can just chill out in the chair beside me. I'm going to watch, because at lunchtime on Wednesdays, I watch The Mandalorian. And so I'm watching The Mandalorian. When a kid is, so he went to school, he felt very ill. He came home, he slept. And I usually take my lunch around 1 o'clock. So he slept from about 10, straight through till 1 o'clock. Then he woke up. And then my stupid ass thought, hey, he'll want to watch, maybe he'd enjoy watching The Mandalorian with me. This was not the case. And all he proceeded to do was talk through the entire fucking episode. Yeah. And I was like, Dexter, I'm trying to watch this. Will you shut up? Yeah, okay. Also, actually, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. So
you're just just shut up and let me
go back to sleep.
The show. You can talk after.
But so yeah, the majority of this show I spent with someone yabbering in my ear.
My God, as parents, we're told not to tell our kids to shut up. How many times do you tell your kids to shut up? Because I do it all the fucking time.
Yep.
He knows that I'm not being rude or serious about it, but I'm like, shut up, stop.
But do you ever notice that you can nicely tell other people's kids to be quiet, but you can't tell them, and it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you want to just turn around to other people's kids and be like, shut the fuck up, the way that you do it to your kids.
Especially in movie theaters.
Right? I am so glad, and it's funny, the more time I spend around other kids, and we won't say why because of restraining order, I realize how well-behaved my kids are. They are well-behaved fucking kids. I'm hard on them, but they're well-behaved, man.
I will tell you something that happened to Alexander. His first big incident that almost became an accident. So lately he's been having more freedom and going outside for walks on his own and stuff, and because he's led a sheltered life of being inside on his iPad.
And COVID even had a lot to do with
that too. Yeah. So let him go outside. We want him to explore. So not too far or whatever. He goes. He has he has to stop at the roads type thing, right? Can't go. Don't play in parking lots. Don't pass the road. He goes and plays, and then he starts picking up trash and putting it into the road. So he wants to see the cars run over it. Boy, did he get in trouble. It's if a car one of the cars stopped and took the stuff, took it off the road, he's hiding over here in the bush or something. And my wife's watching the whole thing, and she just yells at him, gets him inside. He's been grounded for 2 weeks now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we were serious about it.
I like to say to my boys that okay, like mom can get upset. Moms get upset. And mom's going to get upset. And, this is no slander towards moms. But in my opinion, just from my experience as a
Not all moms.
as a father and a husband and a child of two parents when they were together, they were always fighting, but that's besides the point. I would find that when it was a serious fucking thing, my dad got pissed off. Okay. But when it was I'm annoying mom gets pissed off. You disappointed me somehow. You know what I mean? Like things that, oh my goodness, you would traditionally, and then I don't know.
That comes from TV and movies. Like,
yeah,
like
your mom is always your mom is always kind of, not a worrywart. That's the wrong way to put it. But your mom is always very, don't fuck around type of thing. You know what I mean?
The nurturing, the caring, and the dad's always like, if it comes to me.
Yep. And that's what I've said to the boys.
You die.
I said, when dad doesn't like mom getting upset. When mom gets upset, dad gets upset. What happens when dad gets upset? And they're like, dad yells. I'm like, does anybody like when I yell? And they're like, no. I'm like, then let's not make me fucking yell. So the other day, we're getting, and look, they're brothers. They're 11 and 14, so they're constantly pushing and shoving and shit. And Elliot shoved his brother as they were getting into the car, and Dexter cracked his head on the fucking top of the car. Yeah. Dexter's like, ow! It's like, fuck. And he's like, God damn. I'm like, what happened? And Dexter's like, ow! And I'm like, what happened? I thought it was Dexter doing something stupid. He goes, Elliot pushed me, and I hit my top of the head into the car. And I just look over at Elliot, and it was like just the look, and he was like, uh-oh. I said, why did you do that? Elliot's like, I don't know. And I'm like, why did you do that? And he was frozen for a second, and I screamed at him, answer the fucking question. And I screamed it at him. I saw him like, huh, and like the tears coming up in his eyes, like he was terrified. And I would, of course, never hit my kids, but you kind of got to throw the fear of God into them every now and then, you know? And these parents that go around like, oh, I would never do that to my child. You know what? Then your child's going to be a fucking basket case as they grow up.
We've seen these kids around.
That's right. Your kid needs to have a healthy fear of, if I disappoint or do something to make my parents very angry, I'm going to get in trouble for it. Yeah. And if that's not there, you get the worst fucking kids.
I'm the fucking police.
Yeah.
Until the police can step in and arrest you for the stupid shit you do.
Me and my boys do dumb shit, and we're goofy and silly. And this is a relationship I have with my dad, so I have it with my boys. Me and my dad can be silly and goofy, but when the time comes, dad is dad, and I'm the kid. You know, and it's fucked up. Even, like I said to my brother, it still makes me laugh that Justin and I got into a fight when I was in my 30s and Justin was in his 20s. And we got into a fight. We almost like came to blows with each other. My dad was like, enough, sit down, shut the fuck up. And we both, fuck you, type of thing, go and sit down. And I'm like, it's amazing how, your dad is in his 60s, you're in your 30s, your brother's in his 20s, and yet still your parents are still your parents. If they tell you to sit down and shut the fuck up, you do it just because that's fucking burned into your brain.
So speaking of blowing your brother, Chapter 23, The Spies.
Woo!
Moff Gideon is informed by... Oh, shit. Moff Gideon is... You okay?
My lips are burned.
Yeah, you're fucked. You can see it.
You can see it?
No.
Fuck off.
Moff Gideon is informed by Ilya Kane of the Mandalorian's intent. I'm going to say something right. Ilya?
I don't know. Elia. Sure. One thing I did like, so this is what I meant to bring up before, and I don't know how the fuck I got sidetracked. So I was sitting upstairs with the family, talking with the family, and the character of Grand Admiral Thrawn was invented by a guy named Timothy Zahn in, I believe it was late 80s or early 90s, Heir to the Empire, his trilogy of books, right? And he came up with Grand Admiral Thrawn. And when you think of it, Timothy Zahn created Grand Admiral Thrawn, and everyone thought Thrawn was awesome, right? Even to this day, Thrawn is cool.
I don't remember who Thrawn is.
Okay. But my point is, Grand Admiral Thrawn, they were like constantly bring him into the fucking lexicon, bring him into the canon, bring him into the canon. And they were like, nope, we're not bringing him in. And then Rebels finally brought in Grand Admiral Thrawn. And we were like, woo, Grand Admiral Thrawn, this is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. And the blue guy. Okay, sure.
And then Timothy Zahn noticed that Grand Admiral Thrawn had another, surge of popularity. So he wrote, I believe, 2 or 3 new books of Grand Admiral Thrawn, bringing him back and just talking about who he is and whatnot. And now Grand Admiral Thrawn was brought up in this episode and is going to be the main bad guy in Ahsoka. Yeah. And Timothy Zahn must be laughing all the way to the bank because he's even the guy that invented Coruscant, because Coruscant was invented in the extended universe, and George Lucas really liked the idea of it, so he brought it into the movies. And of course, you've got to pay that guy a bunch of fucking money to be able to bring it up every time, and he's going to get royalties every time it gets discussed. So I love that these guys that just like, and this is really what's awesome about this type of stuff is just this guy that came up with this really fucking cool character of Grand Admiral Thrawn, an absolute wartime leader that destroys the rebellion, right? He never goes away. His popularity never goes away as much as they try to make it. No. He's never going to be canon. No, forget about Thrawn. We've got these new 3 movies coming out. Thrawn never dies out. And I really like that about it. And the Heir to the Empire series by Timothy Zahn is a great fucking series of books. It's 3 books. I believe it's Heir of the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and something. The last one, I can't remember the last one. Might be Dark Star. I don't remember. But they're great books.
That was deep.
You're fucking deep.
Yep.
Oh, somebody fell.
Maybe it'll right the wrongs.
See? You're mouthy. That's what happens.
Brush your teeth.
I'm not going to be able to brush my teeth with my burnt-ass lips. I'm going to be like, I'm going to have like my finger. Don't make me fucking smile. It hurts my lip.
Edit all that out.
I suffered. I suffer with this burnt lip, and you're going to cut it out.
I suffer with this podcast.
Fuck up. Don't make me goddamn smile. It hurts.
That's what my wife says. But her hurts on the inside. Moff Gideon is informed by Elia Kane of the Mandalorians' intent to retake their planet, their own planet, taking it.
Also, dude, Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon. This guy is just awesome. He's such a nice man, but he's always the fucking bad guy. And he's so good at being the bad guy. He's so good.
Gideon relays this information to the Shadow Council, a group of Imperial remnant warlords. You couldn't give me a better sentence. He requests reinforcements from Commandant
Commandant Brendel Hux, who, if you remember General Hux from Force Awakens, I have a sneaking suspicion that was a little Easter egg for us guys that like Forced Awakens. That Brendel Hux is maybe General Hux's father.
Yeah, I heard something like that. And questions Captain Pelion on the absence of Grand Admiral Thrawn, suggesting that the council should choose a new leader.
Wow.
You've already talked about him. Reassembling on Navarro, Bo-Katan Kryze unites the Mandalorian clans and prepares you're welcome. And prepares a recon party to explore the surface of Mandalore and locate the Great Forge. Prior to leaving, Grief Karga presents the Mandalorian with the Mandalorian with IG-12, a rebuilt version of IG-11, which has been turned into a pilotable exoskeleton to be controlled by Grogu.
This was dumb.
Yes. This was just like fan service to keep Grogu part of the group.
I did see a great drawing on Instagram. It was Krang in his Hazel suit fighting against Grogu.
That's probably the thought process there.
But yeah, the yes was funny, but I'm like, this, like, dude, they're reaching to keep Grogu in this fucking show. And I feel like Grogu...
It's like they already wrote the show, and they're like, "Oh shoot, Grogu was really popular."
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's
we tried to write him out, but
we tried to write him out. Mid season 2, right, or season 2 when he was gone with Luke Skywalker.
Well, that's right when the popularity really hit on. Like they probably wrote him out, saw the popularity hit so hard, and thought, and then someone in Disney's like, Marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing. We got to keep him in for the rest of the thing.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we'll write him in. That's fine.
But it just, yeah, like this, you've been seeing it as the show has progressed. Like there's no reason for him to be there a lot of the time. But this, I was like, holy fuck.
Well, aside from being cute.
But there's no reason, especially the Mandalorian.
Cute.
The Mandalorian is like, his job is fucking dangerous, you know? Why wouldn't you just leave him with Peli and every now and then go and visit him with Peli? Like, why does he always have to have Grogu with him? And then now, hey, we're going to be running into fucking battle against these dark troopers, and stupid little Grogu is like fucking piloting around IG-12.
You got what you wanted. He's not going to be jumping around anymore.
Yeah, good point. I guess I should count my
He's
blessings for that.
tethered. On
These new stormtroopers are fucking cool. The dark troopers, I thought they were neat.
Yes, I agree. On Mandalore, the group meets up with another clan who is loyal to Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan admits that she surrendered herself and the Darksaber to Gideon shortly after the Night of 1,000 Tears, hoping that the Empire would spare the Mandalorians from further harm.
You know what you should do? You should put across the bottom, like what you're reading with a little bouncing ball so people can read along with it. I think that would make it more interesting.
That's a lot of work, and no.
See? The laziness
Yep.
is what I need to suffer with in this fucking podcast.
What do you do?
Burn my lips.
The clan directs Bo-Katan's search party to the location of the Great Forge, while the armorer takes its weakened members back to the fleet to be tended to. So the big theory is the armorer is not what she seems, and that she has gone against
The way.
the way. Well, not the way, but she might have there's a couple ways to think of it. She could have just want her own tribe to survive because that's the way.
Mhm.
And she's like, well, I'll get all the rest of them in one place and they can be taken out. If some of our people are taken out at the same time, well, we still have some people. That's
I
the
don't
way.
know. I believe that the armorer is who she says she is.
It's a worry that is out there. The search group finds the Great Forge, but is ambushed by Gideon's Beskar-enhanced stormtroopers.
Beskar.
It's all the same. It's colloquial. And
Say that word again.
colloquial?
Yeah, colloquial.
Colloquial.
Yeah, colloquial.
And lured into a trap. It sounds like me and being lured into this house with candy. I still haven't gotten the candy. The Mandalorian is captured by Gideon, who reveals his intent to create a new army of dark troopers and complete the Great Purge of Mandalore.
That was cool.
Yes.
And I like these new stormtroopers. I was bummed to see Pax Vizsla bite the big one, but he went out like a motherfucker, man. He went out fucking blazing, which was great.
So these red stormtroopers are the pre-troopers to the ones that are in the ones that were fighting Rey and what's his face?
Yeah, they're called Praetorian Guards, or that guy right there.
So they end up being the Praetorian Guards?
No,
So
the Praetorian Guards are I think
What came first?
stormtroopers.
No.
But remember,
I'm saying these red stormtroopers
you see
that
that
are
guy right there?
Mandalorians.
The Emperor's Royal Guard, the
Yeah.
red guy. The Emperor's Royal Guard were from the original trilogy, and in the sequel sequel trilogy, they're Praetorian Guards. So I think the Emperor's Royal Guards turned into Praetorian Guards.
Okay, and the ones that are in this show.
They were Praetorian Guards
Okay.
because remember, this is 5
they're-
years after Return of the Jedi.
So they're Praetorian Guards that were enhanced with Mandalorian armor.
Beskar armor.
With Beskar armor.
Yeah. But I think the Dark Troopers that he's creating and the Praetorian Guards are two different things. I feel like Praetorian Guards are like the elite, the guys that protect the high up guys, and Stormtroopers are just regular grunts. But even these Dark Troopers are going to be regular grunts, but like the Uruk-hai from Lord of the Rings, right? Like the baddest bad guys we have, while the Praetorian Guards are like the John Wicks.
Kind of like
They're
the Dark Droid Trooper, whatever that thing is.
yeah, the Dark Trooper. Yeah.
He attempts to kill the search party, but Bo-Katan uses the Darksaber to make an escape for the group, with Paz Vizsla staying behind to buy them time and warn the Mandalorian fleet of the approaching attack. Vizsla fights the stormtroopers, but is killed by Gideon's Praetorian Guards.
Woo!
Da da da.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the episode. All besides that stupid IG-12 thing, I was like, this is just stop this.
For the kids.
But I did like seeing the Praetorian Guards. Of The Last Jedi, I thought the Praetorian Guards, The Last Jedi has some good stuff to it, and I'm never going to be, such an asinine dickhead Star Wars fan where I'm going to be like, every part of Last Jedi sucked. Like, no, Last Jedi was not a good Star Wars movie, but it was a fine movie, and it had some great parts to it, the Praetorian Guards being one of them. The only Star Wars movie that's complete trash is fucking Rise of Skywalker. But I like seeing the Praetorian Guards. I love seeing Moff Gideon. I love seeing Paz Vizsla. It's a bummer he got wiped out. But yeah, overall, it's a fun episode.
How do we wrap up this season?
I don't think we
Next episode.
I don't think we wrap up this season. I think this season ends on a cliffhanger. Myself.
Okay. What happens?
I think what's going to happen is they go back to Mandalore. Moff Gideon is going to bring out his whole team.
Aren't they on Mandalore?
They are, but they've got to
they have to regroup.
Yeah, regroup and maybe they were in the Forge. Maybe they're going to go to like the depths of Mandalore, to the caves of Mandalore, where so my whole point is that they're going to get to the Mythosaur.
Yeah.
And what's got to happen is Bo-Katan or Din Djarin, I think it's going to be Bo-Katan, has to ride the Mythosaur up against...
sure it's going to be Bo-Katan,
Yeah, up against Moff Gideon and his team. And her riding the Mythosaur is what will destroy all of Gideon's guys, and they'll flee back to...
the end of the episode.
Yep, and then they'll be on Mandalore.
What's the cliffhanger then?
The cliffhanger is that, hey, maybe they weren't completely gone, or... I think Grand Admiral Thrawn shows up. Something with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and that's how we continue Grand Admiral Thrawn into Ahsoka. He's not just introduced in Ahsoka. He's introduced in the end of The Mandalorian, and he continues into Ahsoka. Because...
What if the armor reports to Grand Admiral Thrawn?
That could be a thing.
That would be like a double cliffhanger in one, and be like, oh shit, 2 levels of deceit.
Because Thrawn is Thrawn. The cool thing about Thrawn is he was always kind of indefeatable. Like he was the best of the best when it came to the Empire. All the shitty like Grand Moff Tarkin and all the other Moffs that they had would kind of they weren't good at strategizing. They weren't good at knowing where the rebels would be and defeating them. Whereas Grand Admiral Thrawn, he had a mind for it. Like this is all he knew how to do. And
the ultimate bad guy.
Yeah, but the ultimate leader. Like even that guy up there, you can see how popular the fucking guy is. Is that when we're at the Star Wars show, that guy at the top is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Yeah.
Like it was he's such a great villain. And that's why I think so many fucking people are excited.
So we think he's going to be the Luke Skywalker at the end. He's not going to be like, oh, we're going to introduce him at the start of the episode.
He'll be the tease at the end.
Yeah.
I also have a sneaking suspicion that Boba Fett might show up because right now he's on Tatooine to be part of the Mandalorians. That as the Mandalorians come together, I can see them doing it, bringing Boba Fett back into like, hey, remember Boba Fett? It could happen, but me in my heart, I think that the Mythosaur is gonna Bo-Katan's gonna ride the Mythosaur, destroy all the Moff Gideons, and then somehow I like your idea of the armor talking to Grand Admiral Thrawn.
That would be great.
Grand Admiral Thrawn's
the whole armor taking the people back in that boat or whatever, it just seemed forced, and it didn't have a real good point to it. Like you could have just had her like off the screen. Like who cares?
Yeah.
But you did a scene with it for nothing, and I think that was to stretch the point that she was going off with this group. And I think that was to she's setting them or she's getting herself out of there or because she knows something's about to happen.
I want to see the armor take her helmet off.
It could happen. What if it's...
she's a good-looking lady.
What if it's what's-her-face?
She's not. It's Emily Swallows.
Elia Kane.
Yeah.
She takes off her helmet. It's Elia Kane.
I don't know who that is. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about from wrestling or some shit.
No. Not Kane.
As she takes off the helmet, she grows by about 2.5 feet.
She becomes a mayor of Kentucky or whatever he is.
Is that what he did?
Something like that, yeah.
That's fucked up. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching Complain. We're sorry you've been watching Complain. Please like us and Tinder us and Grogu us and Grinder us. And like and subscribe and ask us questions that we do not have the answer to. if anyone has any lip balm that they can recommend, because my lips are fucking burnt, I would love to read about it in the comments. Please, we're desperate for comments. We're lonely. We have no lives. We want nothing more. Phil just sits there watching the comment section on these YouTube videos, hoping that someone will say something mean about either of us. Like, you're a big pink fruitcake, or you're a burnt-lipped, tattooed jerk-off who deserves AIDS.
We'll see.